And that's just what I love about these craft distillers. They're so passionate. They've got great stories.
Yep.
They will spend the time with you to show you all the nooks and crannies of their distillery and give you a great experience while you're there.
They're not only entrepreneurs, but some of them are just artists, right? Old Soldier down in Tacoma, there's only like 2 or 3 people that work there total. And so they do the entire process from pouring the grains and distilling them to putting the labels on the bottle. It's like 2 or 3 people. It's ridiculous.
Great-great-grandfather was in the Union Army, and he made booze for the first Delaware, which is where he started. Family's been dinking around with it for a long time, but I got started in Desert Storm because they told us we couldn't bring whiskey and liquor in theater, but they didn't tell us they couldn't make it there. So
where's Bad Dog? Bad Dog, the guy at Bad Dog, he literally made this still himself because he's a welder and a craftsman, and so he made his own still.
Yeah, never are. But Shelley's very knowledgeable with computer stuff, and making programs. I'm very skilled at building things like stills and just the general mechanics of how a boiler works and batches, how to make a formula to make a good whiskey.
Freaking Ula, this guy will go on a rant of the chemistry of all the chemical properties and the transitions of the chemical process. Like, he gets into the weeds of the chemistry, the science part of it that you don't even hear from a lot of other people. It's ridiculous how much Kirby over at Ula will go into that kind of stuff. It's freaking wild.
And convert it to these long chain sugars. And then the beta glucanase gets added at a little bit lower temperature and rests in there, and that acts on the long chain sugars and makes short chain sugars, which are also called fermentable sugars.
And then James Bay, he's up in Everett. He has a Canadian whiskey because he has an agreement with Canada, and he has a facility there to store it after it gets distilled because he contract distills. That way, he can be a Washington State brand but have Canadian whiskey. And he did the same thing with the King of Scotland. He has a written agreement with the King of Scotland, so he has his own scotch here in Washington State.
What?
I mean,
that is crazy.
Yeah. So it ages in Canada as well?
Yes, it ages in Canada, and then it comes to us here in totes because it cannot continue to age in a barrel once it's left Canadian sovereign territory. Just like the Scotch that we have.
Right.
It's all made in Scotland, but we do our blending of different Highland and Speyside whiskeys here. That comes to us in containers which are not oak.
What?
I mean,
wow. Crazy.
Yeah. You learn so much just by talking to these different distilleries. It's crazy. I love it. Love it.